Hey y'all, good morning. Welcome back to Creating with Keita. As you see, I am actually leaving Lowe's because I want to go ahead and show you guys how we're going to prep and plant our potatoes for the, what is this, spring season, just for the 2023 growing season, because you know it takes several months for us to grow potatoes. So I want to show you how I do. Y'all, so what you see here, I have 4 5-gallon buckets, and that is what I will be planting my potatoes in. And then it's upside down, but yeah, it's just regular Stay Green container garden container garden dirt. I think it was like $11 for this. The buckets, they have actually gone up on the price. They were like $4.98. And this is how I'm gonna do it. If you're new to my channel, or probably just saw me last night from Dorcia's channel, this is basically how I grow my potatoes in containers. So stay tuned for the next steps. But y'all, this was so heavy. Thankfully, I had somebody from Lowe's. Everyone is always so friendly at this location here in the DC area. So shout out to them. But yeah, this is a lot of dirt, and I'm gonna have to drag it to the backyard. Bye, be right back. All right, welcome back to my channel. As you see, I am home. I did get the big bag of soil out of the car. Actually, it's been a few days because I live in Washington, D.C., and it is still cold. So I'm not going to plant the potatoes in the ground just yet. So my first video, which is the one you're watching now, will be talking to you about how to prep your potatoes, or at least how to get started, right? So if you're watching this, your potato probably looks like this. Or maybe the eyes have gotten longer, right? Let me see, I'm not even sure. I never know where to look at this thing. Y'all forgive me. Anyway, so there we go. I have several of these. If you want to grow potatoes and you haven't gotten here yet, and you just want to start with the bag that you already have, your first step after, of course, even before you do like I did before and went to go to Lowe's or Home Depot or your local garden center, you're going to take your potatoes. Obviously, over time, you're going to let some of the eyes start to form like this, and then you're going to continue to store them in a dark place. They need a little bit of space, so make sure it's airy, not damp or anything like that. But you want to make sure your potatoes have room to get leggy. I call this legs, eyes, shits. I can't pronounce that other word. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But you want to plant them once they get like this. All right, so that's number one. If you have potatoes that you're starting and they don't already have eyes, put them in a bag or store them in a dark place for maybe a couple more weeks. Check on them, make sure they don't mold over, and once they get like this, it's gonna be time. Now, if those are stored and it's still cold outside, let me talk to you about what I'm doing next. Of course, this is real life, and I'm keeping all that in there. So what you should have seen in my last scene was I was coming back from Lowe's. Shout out to Lowe's, sponsor me. Hey Lowe's, how y'all doing? All right, hey Lowe's, how you doing? All right, and I just wanted to make this video to kind of get everybody started on what to do. So the next steps, the buckets. You all saw that I bought several 5-gallon buckets. Lowe's. All right, and try to bring it close to the camera. There we go, you can see there. I have 3 holes here, 1 in the middle, and then 3 more holes here. All right, it's important that when you plant your potatoes that you have space in your, well, first off, 5-gallon bucket. It's going to give you the space you need because they like a airy soil, if you will, and then also they need to drain. So I don't want you to put too many holes because they still need nutrients and water, right? But enough that it doesn't soak and sit in there, you know. So I did 6. I think last year I did about 6 or 7, the same thing as this. And I'm going to, no, I'm not going to do anything. And then that was it. So those in each one of my buckets. Now listen, don't go out buying anything expensive. You see this little baby drill? Wherever it is. This drill is from IKEA. The drill bit, can we see that? Let's do that famous. Yeah, the drill bit there.
I think all of this was from IKEA, 10 bucks. Okay. Now, it's not the most powerful. It'll get the job done. But if you don't want a huge drill in your house, or you're scared of big drills or anything like that, this will do it. I have both. I have a bigger drill and I have this one. And honestly, I've used this one because it's cordless. And you just plug it in and plug and play. And so that's what I like. All right. And then, of course, your potting soil. And pretty much that's it. But let me give you some tips, too. All right. So let me give you all some tips. We've got our potato, we've got our buckets, and we've got our soil. So, as I've already stated, if your potato hasn't sprouted and gotten very long, put the potatoes in a bag or in a dark place. Over time, maybe like a week or two, check on them and see how leggy they have gotten or how the eyes have grown. And then from there, you have a couple of options. Now, I prefer to grow my potatoes whole. I've had great results with it the past couple of years. If I can find the picture, I'll attach it towards the end somewhere. But I've had great results growing them whole. Some people say you don't have a lot of whole potatoes, but you want to yield a larger result. Some people will cut the potato. And if you're going to cut it, you want to cut it to where the eyes, right? These clusters, you may want to cut, like I would cut right there, or like this way. I would probably break this into 4s. I'm sure somebody's watching this and say they would do more, but you want big pieces. You want to make sure the eyes or these roots are there, and then you want to sit them somewhere where they can stay dry. Those pieces can callus over. To callus means to harden, right? So you want it to harden over, and then that is what you will put in the soil, and that will give you a decent yield also. I just have a lot of potatoes and not a lot of space. And of course, everybody's doing the biking thing, right? So that's your 2 options. Throw it in a dirt hole or cut it into smaller pieces, let them callus, and then, excuse me. I'm waiting for that noise to pass, y'all. Sorry, this is the city living. And then put them in the dirt. All right. And then also, weather-wise, you want to make sure, like right now, I'm in the Northeast, like I said, DC. So we're in zone 7AB or something like that. Somebody tell me in the comments. And it's still cold, right? Well, 60-something degrees today. We're going to get a few more days in the lows of the 30s. Potatoes like to stay 40 degrees at the lowest, right? So you don't want to go any lower than 40 degrees. Maybe in the high 30s, I think you can get away with. After that, you're in danger of them kind of having a problem because of the frost. So if it's still cold in your area, let those potatoes sit. Nothing's going to happen. The eyes, if anything, they're going to get longer. The ones I planted last year had very long, very, very long legs. In the next video, you'll see mine that I have now. And they have super long tentacles at this point. I mean, they're as long as my fingers. They're long. So you can plant those, cut them however you want to do them. All right, y'all. So that's everything for right now. So this is the initial prepping video. Next video, we're planting. And, oh, and I forgot to mention, we're planting now. Basically, the last point I was getting at was that we're going to plant after the first frost, or at least in your area where the temperature gets above 40. That's when you want to put them in your containers. And if you are growing in ground, same rules, you know, maybe wait when it's a little warmer, whatever. But yeah, and the way I'm also going to do it, I know people are like, okay, if you have so many potatoes, how many are you going to put in a bucket? So in this bucket, I'm thinking I'm going to put 2. I would consider this an average size white potato. So I'm going to put 2 of each of these in the bucket, maybe 3, and see how that works this year. And I'm going to go from there. All right. So that's it. That's the end of this video. End of round 1. So please join me. Let's plant along. I guess we can call this a plant along, craft along, gardening along. Yeah. Plant. Let's have a plant along. Plant together party. All right. So your shopping list is 5-gallon buckets from Lowe's, Home Depot, or your local garden center. And I take that back. I've heard that you can also get food grade. If you have access to buckets, make sure they're food grade. Who is this? who is this, y'all? What is going on in my neighborhood? Somebody done spent their good Christmas money, I guess. Anyway, you're going to get food grade buckets also. So if you don't have access to Lowe's or Home Depot, but maybe you have access to a Walmart or a restaurant, see if they'll give you the food grade buckets. You're going to do that. You're going to get a drill. You're going to put holes at the bottom of it. Now my dog is barking. You're going to put holes in the bottom. You're going to get your soil. I'm probably going to need more than one bag. You're going to get a large bag of soil. And if you're growing in containers, make sure that the soil is container gardening soil. Okay. I've also watched another video. Somebody just used basic topsoil. It's all dirt, right? So maybe that works. And then you're going to get your potatoes. Make sure they have some eyes. If not, stick them back in the pantry. Stick them somewhere cool. Not necessarily in the refrigerator either. Let me make sure I make that note. But stick them somewhere dark where they stay cool and they can grow their tentacles, right? All right. It's getting dark. I'm going to go. And you guys have a good night, good day, and good morning. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend. And we're growing groceries this year, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.